What up, JJ family? Welcome back to A Good Time with J and J. Guys, I forget who it was that asked us the question. We're gonna look it back up.
I don't know. I think there was quite a few of you after, but there was one person originally that asked this question.
I can't remember from the top of my head, but that person, here you are. They basically asked us why and when was it that Joanna moved to England. And this is what this video is gonna be about. I hope you guys enjoy it. This video is basically gonna be all about wifey and why she moved to England. But before we get to do that, I would like to just make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. Alright, make sure you turn on your notifications, please. We're at 26K, baby. Maybe maybe as we speak, we're hitting 27K.
Yeah.
Not sure. Yes, make sure to drop a like and share any of your favorite videos of ours with a friend or a family member or whatever if you think you'll make them laugh. Alright, but without further ado, baby, this is as much talking as I'm gonna do throughout the video. We're about to listen to baby. I'm gonna ask the questions.
Okay.
I don't even know. I'm just gonna ask from the top of my head. So we have to first break it down to the very beginning of everything, right? Tell us about your mom and your dad. How did all that start?
This is from what I know. I don't remember everything that my mom's told me. They met when she was, I think, still in school. They started going out together. They went out, I guess, for their first date. They went to the movies. It was very good in the beginning. Everything was obviously all nice, lovey-dovey. But my mom always says that she doesn't remember my dad proposing to her. It was just, they dated, I want to say maybe like 4 months before they like got married. She got pregnant and all this stuff. Like,
did she get pregnant first before married, or married and then pregnant?
I think she got married when she was 20 and she had me when she was 21, so she must have got pregnant like around those times. But yeah, my mom said that they didn't date for too long before everything was rushed, and like her wedding was prepared without like her authorization. And yeah, she just said that it was all rushed. She doesn't remember being asked. She doesn't remember like planning anything herself. Everything was all just done for her.
So do you think
it almost sounds like an arranged marriage, right?
Kinda, in a way, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think she was happy after you were born, being with your father?
For how my mom explains it, she was happy when they were dating, but he wasn't like her first love, real love. And then I guess because they went into marriage and she got pregnant, that she decided to stay even though she wasn't happy. And she said that because the wedding was so quick, she didn't even have a moment to think, to be like, no, this is not what I want. But then yeah, she found out she was pregnant. She was very, very happy for what she's told me, that she was pregnant. He wasn't happy on his side. I think he's about 10 years older than my mom, so there's a big difference. He wasn't happy when she told him that she was pregnant, and he asked her to have an abortion. She refused to do that, and I guess like problems started coming on after that. They were together, I believe it was 7 years married. So
you being a child, do you have any memories of you, your mother, and your father, all three of you guys being together?
No.
You don't? Okay.
I see it in photos, like my birthdays and stuff like that, but I don't have any memory at all of like being like the three of us.
And like you being in school and stuff like that?
Yeah, I have memories of that.
Oh, you, okay.
Yeah, I have memories of being with my mom. My mom said that like there was times where she wasn't working, so when she was at home with me, she would just, because we lived with my grandmother, so it was me, my dad, my mom, and my grandmother.
Also, all you guys lived in your grandmother's place?
Yeah.
How big was your grandmother's place?
I don't know, I don't think it was that big. And it was that place that
we
went.
Yeah. So it's a 2-bedroom?
3-bedroom.
Oh yeah, kinda, yeah. Like,
yeah.
If you guys are OGs and you seen the Madeira field trip that we did, you guys must have seen Joanna's room fully decorated with all her stuff. That's where you used to sleep, and where you and I slept, that's where your parents slept.
But my mom said like not a lot went down because it wasn't a
7
good marriage.
years? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when she was off, she would just take me and just go out for the day, go to like charity stores or whatever. She wouldn't like to stay home. She just felt like she felt that she wasn't needed. She felt that my dad was just happy enough to be in like his own little life that he was secretly living, and she was just like somebody that was just a part of the house, but she didn't feel like she was a part of the home. That's how it was. He did, like, from what my mom has told me, he physically abused her once. But I think there's a lot of stuff my mom doesn't tell me, maybe not to hurt me. So yeah.
Do you remember around what time it was that your mom might have realized that she wasn't happy with the marriage and she just didn't want any part of it? Like, were you aware of anything that was going on?
I remember seeing some stuff which just, like, for the sensitivity of the family, I won't put out there. There's some stuff like I don't mind sharing with you guys, but there is things that I'd rather not.
Yes, because obviously you're involving someone else and we obviously don't have their permission.
Yeah.
With this video, we obviously asked your mother.
My mom, yeah.
And her mom was fine.
There's just things and like that's just personal that we would just keep to ourselves.
Yeah.
But we still love you guys and we'll keep you apart and other stuff. There was stuff that I witnessed, and I believe, I don't know how old I was, but my mom came down to England to visit her sister who was here with her 3 kids.
So you said that she came here to visit your auntie, right? Yes. Your auntie. Did she have any other siblings here apart from your auntie? No.
No.
Okay, so
she only had her sister here.
And you said that she ended up liking England?
She just liked being away from
yeah, because I'm like,
what
England?
was going on. Yeah, what was going on back at home. So she stayed here. I don't know how long we stayed here. And then when we went back, she was just like ooh.
That's my phone, guys.
When she went back, she was just saying that she wasn't happy to be there. And she just, I'm trying to remember all the stuff Mom's told me. Remember something happened. Maybe you remember when Mom said that something happened to the car. Something happened to my mom's car or their car.
So I do remember saying there was a part where I think your mom got into a car accident.
Yeah.
And the first thing he did when he called or when they spoke was ask if the car was okay.
Yeah, instead of her. And there was something that happened to me. I think I got sick and he didn't ask about me.
I think you were in the car as well.
Well, I was in the car?
Yeah, you were in the car as well. He didn't ask about you or her.
He just asked about the car.
About the car. And that I can remember, she didn't really like that. She was like, oh, this man doesn't really care about me or my child. And
she ended up getting rid of the car. Didn't tell him.
Yeah.
She ended up like, she was like a secret spy. She went back there and she knew that she just didn't want to stay there. So she basically got everything prepared to leave. So she put she got all her jewelry and everything, gave it to like my cousin. You guys saw her grandmother. She gave it to her to keep for her, and stuff like that to keep for her until she got all her stuff together. And then there was a lot of stuff that happened, but fast forward, she basically bought a ticket, not a return one, and just took me, did not tell my dad, nobody, and just we came to England.
How old were you?
It was 6.
6.
My mom didn't know English. My mom didn't know England. She only knew my auntie was here.
You didn't know English either, huh?
No. But yeah, she basically, ran away. No one knew anything that was happening. Nobody outside the house knew like the problems and nothing. So that's why I moved to England.
Yeah, basically that's pretty much the reason why you ended up moving over here. So your mom and your dad basically divorced? After
that, my mom was trying to get a divorce from him, but he would never sign the papers. Sign the papers to get divorced. So it was many years of like My mom was in constant fear. My auntie was not very great, and she would tell my mom like, oh, if you have to be careful with the police, if the police see you here, then you know they'll send you back to Portugal because you're an immigrant, you're not allowed to be here and all this stuff.
But that was a lie, because you know, being European, you can be here.
Yeah, but my auntie, that was a whole like manipulative sides.
That's a whole different story that I've heard of, and I wish not to speak about it because not many nice comments will be coming out, even from me who was not a part of it. But yeah, continuing on. So was your grandmother ever informed of, you know, you moving over here? Was she ever? No, she wasn't. And once you moved here, was there any contact at all with you and your father? I know your mother and him, there was nothing.
So he had just, I guess, for the court reasons and because he's my dad, he was making it difficult for my mom, saying like he didn't allow me to be in England, he didn't want a divorce, he was just making it hard. But he knew where we lived, the address, telephone numbers, everything, he knew that. But from 6 years old, he didn't contact me at all. When, I don't know at what age it was, I must have been in primary school because I remember I had a babysitter whenever my mom worked, and I stayed with a babysitter I think for a few days while my mom went to Portugal. So I must have been around 10 or 9 years old. My mom went to Portugal, paid for everything, paid for the court to get divorced. Luckily he showed up, and the court was like, you guys haven't been together for all these years, she's living in a whole nother country, like it's time for you to sign this. So he finally did, and that's it. Like they didn't talk, it was just like based on the court. And she came back, she, you know, she was happy that she got divorced, she was free of that, because she kept thinking like, oh, he's gonna come and take Joanna and all this stuff, things like that. So no, he didn't contact until when it was my 30th birthday.
30th?
13.
Oh, gee, I'm like, okay.
1-3. I remember coming into the living room of where we used to live, and my mom was outside talking in the garden, like shouting and crying on the phone. I was thinking like, who is she talking to? And I remember her saying like, it's her birthday and you never call and all this stuff, and she's asking questions. Around that time I was getting very curious as to like what happened, why don't I have a dad, because you go into high school, people talk about dads and stuff like that, and I'm thinking like, yo, where's mine? Yeah. So she comes back in and she's like, oh, your dad is gonna call you to say happy birthday. And I was also on the side of like, I don't give a shit about him, but I wanted to know him, sort of thing. I wanted to know what was his reasons for practically abandoning me. And yeah, he spoke to me on the phone, but you could see that there was like no love, there was no bond, nothing. He was just doing it because my mom was telling him to do it. And after that, that's it. Like, he clearly had our number because he called me and he never called again. And then I think around when I was 16, 17, we went to Madeira for the first time. So after all that time,
after 10 years?
Yeah. Damn. We went there one time, but it was like it was like 4 days. But this time we went and we saw my grandmother. And I think my grandmother accidentally told him that we was gonna be there at her house. So out of all these years that I haven't actually seen him since I was 6, he shows up without any, like, I guess, I don't know if, my grandma said she didn't even know he was coming. So because he has a key to my grandma's house just in case an emergency. So he just walks in to the house, just comes in, and I'm like, what is this? It was like an ambush because he came with him, his wife, and his son. Oh snap. And I'm like, what is this? You know, and I was just shocked. And then when he saw me, he like hugged me and cried, like cried so much, and was saying, oh, my daughter, like in Portuguese, like my daughter. And I remember just thinking, like hugging him, thinking like, what the fuck is this? And I was just so angry at him, like, how the hell does he think he can just like roll up in here and, you know, my daughter. I was pissed. And I didn't say nothing, I just continued going on. I could see my mom was a little bit heated because this was unexpected. and obviously having like a new woman in the house, and it just, I can imagine like it must have been uncomfortable. So I remember him taking me to my room and trying to talk to me, and I remember him like showing me his medals because he used to be an athlete. He would run and he used to compete in marathons in Portugal. Am I talking too much?
That's fine.
Okay. He used to compete in marathons, and he was showing me like all these medals, like trying, I guess for me, because I was angry at him, I'm like, all these years, why are you trying to show me what you've accomplished? And I remember him giving me like, I think 1 or 2 medals, saying for me to keep it. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with these? What do you want me to do with these medals?
Damn.
And I remember like him, like my little brother being there and trying to talk to each other and stuff like that. It was difficult. I was just mainly quiet, and my grandma was saying to him like in front of me, like, you know, this is like a shock and don't expect, because he kept asking me like, why are you quiet, daughter, why are you not talking? I'm like, bitch, what, why do you think I'm not talking to you? Because at this time I didn't really know how to speak Portuguese, so if I could tell him how I felt, oh god, I would have told him. But it was just like, I was completely shocked to see him. And then after, while we were there, my grandmother, she makes like a lot of food at lunchtime, so she would always drop him food where he works in the mornings, just because she does that. Like if she makes too much food, she'll give it out to people. And I remember like always going past his work in my granddad's car, and he would be like, oh daughter, you're here, and all this stuff. And I remember just sitting in the back of the car and not even making eye contact with him, just looking elsewhere. And it was awkward as hell for everybody else. My mom stayed quiet, and my grandmother would just say to him like, oh, it's okay, just like let her get used to it and stuff like that. One time I met up with him during this time to see my brother in school, and I remember like walking up to him, meeting him, and he had like sunglasses on, and he was like, in Portuguese, oh, do you know why, the way you translate in English it sounds kind of cringing, but like the way you say it in like Portuguese it's not. It's like, oh, do you know why daddy's wearing these glasses? And I'm like, no. And then he took off his glasses and he had like a little tear, and I'm like, this buffoon, I swear to god. And I didn't know what to say, because that's my expression, like I'm looking at him like, you are dickhead. And I didn't know what to say, and I was just like, okay, don't cry. I was literally like, that was my emotion. Oh, don't cry. Like I wasn't like, oh, don't cry. I was like, don't cry. And then like we walked to my brother's school and stuff like that. It was mad awkward. Like I feel like he was trying to put on a show, because even after that, when we came back home, he did not once contact me. He did not once text, call, nothing whatsoever. And that was what kept happening. So I'd go to Portugal, I'd see him, he'll want to come and visit, but then when I'm back in England, he didn't want to hear nothing about me. Nothing at all. And yeah, I remember one time I sent him a text and I was like, I don't need a part-time dad. Like, you're either in my life or you're not, and I completely understand that you've remarried, you have a child, and I'm at this point, I was like maybe about 18 or something. I was like, at this point I'm grown, so I completely understand, and that's it. And he just replied to me some short ass message saying, oh, that really hurts me that you said that. I was like, oh, fuck you. I never replied.
That's insane. So basically, the connection between you and your dad wasn't really there. That's why you guys ended up moving over here. It affected you while you were growing up, but it got to the point where you were like, whatever, I don't need her in my life.
I feel like that could be a whole different story.
A whole different story, yeah.
When me and Jeffrey were both like in high school, we both went through like some like depression, suicides, like moments. So let us know in the comments if you guys would like to see that, because that will be a whole nother long, and it coincides with obviously what happened with me and my dad. But yeah, that could be a whole different thing, so just let us know if maybe that could help you if you wanted to listen. But basically, yeah, that's it.
That'll be an interesting video though, how we dealt with the depression that we both went through, the suicidal thoughts and attempts. And yeah, if you guys would like to know that stuff, let us know in the comments. Apologies if the video is too long, But this is just an insight, a bit of, not the full story obviously, but the most important parts of the story of why Joanna ended up moving to London. And it sounds wrong what I'm about to say, but I'm happy all that stuff happened, because if it didn't happen, it would have made her the woman she is now. She's very tough, she's very protective of her heart. She doesn't really let people come in her heart. She does not let people come in her life, like, you know, and then just mess around with the feelings. We've had our problems with, like, close friends, and they just come and we trust them, and then they end up doing some weird shit where it's just like it falls off. So that's something that Joanna is really careful about, just being very close in her circle. But I'm glad she's made it through. A lot of kids wouldn't be able to handle stuff like that, and they tend to like be rebels, do things in streets. But Joanna was good. She was good. She's a good woman. This is why I love her. I'd like to meet her dad and be like, hey, thank you for being a sperm donor. You're the man.
He literally is. Like, yeah. If it comes to Father's Day, it's something, it doesn't bug me no more. He literally is just a sperm donor. I don't know. I don't even know what I would say. I'm not hurt anymore. If I saw him now, I'd be like, hey, you okay? But I wouldn't. I don't have nothing like towards him. I don't have no attachment, no hate. I don't have nothing.
Also, let us... Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I was going to say, also let us know in the comments if you are someone who probably dealt with something like this. If maybe you and your father or your mother are not very close. If you don't feel like it, don't, because it might be too personal. But if you're someone who has dealt with something like this, let us know in the comments. But guys, listen, everything that Joanna went through, some of you might be going through that as well. But just never ever let what's going around in the world affect you. Always make sure for you to be the best person that you can be. Make sure you're happy. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Because if Joanna would have let all that stuff affect her, she could have been a rebel towards her mother, towards everybody, friends, whatever. She could have just been the negative outcome of what she is now. She is such an amazing person now. And it's because after some time, you tend to realize, like, yo, if it happened, it happened. I'm not gonna let that affect the rest of my life. And always trying to be the best person that you possibly can. Just always have inspiration that at some point in life things are gonna be bright. Look at me, I came into her life, innit?
Lord have mercy.
Nah, but no, sir, guys, listen. What were you gonna say? You gonna say something?
Yeah.
What? Say something.
No, I was just gonna say, depending on your age, if you can help like the single parent in your household, so whether it be your mom, your dad, you know that they've gone through some stuff and now they're in like hardship, just be good to them, you know, get good grades in school, help as much as you can at home, because they're secretly hurting although they're putting on a brave face for you. That's true. So like my mom was so strong for me. She was my dad, my mom, everything. I seriously didn't need him. Like, all I needed was my mom. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Love your parents, as tough as they may be. My parents are annoyingly impossible to understand sometimes, but I love them. They've made me the person who I am now. But, yeah, just always respect your parents. Try to understand them. You have to understand they were brought up in a whole different area than we were. So, it's just try to understand them. And just be the best person that you can be. Be happy. Make a difference in someone else's life by being the best that you can. That's about it. Don't be a negative energy in no one else's life. Alright? But yeah, like I said, drop a like. Let us know if you want to see how we dealt with depression, anxiety, and all that good stuff. Not good stuff, but you know what I'm saying. And then we'll definitely do a video about that. But, baby, thank you so much for sharing that with us, JJ family. Obviously something that makes us feel more connected. And itching your leg, huh? Told you to stop itching your leg. Yo, she be itching her leg so hard that she be like making herself bleed. Jesus. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. On to the next time. A good time with J&J. We are out of here. Dame mi beso. Mi beso.
Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Oh honey, so